7 hidden signs she secretly likes you. Female psychology explained. Psychology tricks. What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you say. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Here's a truth many men don't face until the moment has passed. Most women won't step up and announce, I like you. Attraction rarely arrives with a parade. It's quiet. It's cautious. It slips out in small, testable signals. Women often communicate interest through patterns, glances that linger a little too long, timing that's a little too perfect, small invitations that look casual but aren't. If you're not tuned in, you'll miss it. Too many men wait for neon signs and, in doing so, walk right past genuine openings, not because she wasn't interested, but because they never learned to read the subtleties. Think of attraction as a coded language. It's used every day, yet only a few men bother to become fluent. Once you can interpret the cues, uncertainty fades. You stop asking, is she into me, and start noticing consistent evidence that answers the question for you. That clarity changes everything: your calm, your timing, your presence. Women respond to a man who can perceive beneath the surface without crushing the mystery or forcing the moment. Important note: look for patterns, not one off behaviors, and always pair perception with respect and consent. 1. Presence. Presence is the first silent language of attraction. It's that invisible signal in the air that says something's happening without anyone daring to name it. When a woman is secretly drawn to you, she doesn't announce it, she simply appears. Suddenly, she's in your space, your circle, your world. Maybe she's coincidentally at the same coffee shop, maybe she just happened to join the same gym, or maybe she's popping up in conversations where she never used to be. Don't be fooled. None of it is random. This is female psychology at play, the subtle strategy of being close enough to be noticed, but not so obvious that she risks rejection. Her presence is a quiet experiment, a gentle game of gravity. Men often miss this sign because they think attraction must be loud, obvious, and dramatic. It's not. Attraction, in its realest form, is quiet, strategic, and intentional. A woman who's interested doesn't need to tell you. She simply starts to exist around you more. She asks small, meaningless questions she already knows the answers to. She lingers when everyone else leaves. She laughs a little louder at your jokes, even when they're not that funny, and you know they're not. That's not coincidence. It's calculation wrapped in charm. In the world of psychology tricks, her body betrays what her mouth won't say. She's practicing the art of subtle pursuit, and you must learn to read it. Be smart. Don't assume she's just being nice. That's where most men fall flat. In the science of how to fall in love, awareness is everything. A woman's presence is an investment, and time is her currency. She doesn't spend it where she feels nothing. So when she shows up again and again, in the same space, the same circle, the same room, it's not an accident. That's attraction in motion. That's emotion disguised as coincidence. You must learn to spot it before it fades. Notice her patterns. Does she move closer even when there's no reason? Does she find excuses to be near you, to talk to you, to stay just a little longer? That's her subconscious doing the talking. Female psychology runs on subtlety. Her instincts pull her toward what she wants. She's not chasing you, she's creating a space where you can choose to notice her. And that's the real trick. She's giving you permission to take the lead without ever saying so. Don't play dumb. Don't overlook it. When you sense her presence, acknowledge it, not with desperate excitement, but with calm certainty. Make eye contact. Smile slightly. Hold your frame. You're not chasing, you're simply recognizing. That's what separates the man she's intrigued by from the man she forgets. The one who gets her attention isn't the loudest, richest, or most charming. It's the one who sees her without making her feel exposed. That's the art of presence. It's the opening move in the dance of attraction, the foundation of every real connection. When she's around, she's not looking for validation, she's looking for recognition. She wants to feel seen without feeling studied. And if you can master this delicate balance of attention and composure, you won't have to chase love. Love will find you. Because attraction begins not with words, but with awareness. Not with talk, but with presence. So next time she's nearby, standing a little closer, laughing a little too easily, lingering when she should have left. Don't ignore it. That's the whisper of interest, the hum of possibility. Be the man who notices. Be the man who understands that her presence is her way of saying, I'm here. Now, what are you going to do about it? That's where it starts. The subtle magnetism, the quiet pull, the unspoken chemistry. You don't chase it, you recognize it. Because once you do, you've unlocked one of the most powerful psychology tricks in the book, knowing when she's already chosen you before either of you says a word. 2. Memory. When a woman likes you, her mind becomes a camera, but not just any camera. It's the kind that zooms in on the smallest details, the ones you didn't even realize were worth noticing. She's not just observing. She's collecting snapshots of you. She remembers that your favorite drink is black coffee with 2 sugars. She recalls how your eyes lit up when you talked about your dog. She even remembers the song you said reminds you of home, the one that hits you right in the chest. That's not coincidence. That's care, disguised as curiosity. Women are naturally observant, yes, but they don't store everyone's details. They remember the men who matter. If she recalls your stories, the stress in your voice when you talked about work, or the way you said your mom used to make pancakes on Sundays, it's because she's emotionally invested. Don't mistake it for just a good memory. No, my friend. This is selective attention, and it's one of the most intimate signs of attraction. It's her way of saying without words, I see your world. I listen. I care. She's not just remembering, she's testing. Here's the part most men miss. When she brings up something you said weeks ago, she's not only showing that she remembers, you're being tested. She's watching your reaction. Do you smile and acknowledge her attention? Or do you brush it off like it means nothing? Because your response tells her everything. It tells her whether you're safe to open up to, or just another passing conversation. See, women crave emotional safety just as much as physical chemistry. When she feels you notice her too, when you return that energy with awareness and warmth, you're no longer just another guy in her orbit. You're different. You become the kind of man who stands out calm, grounded, aware. That's masculine energy in its purest form. The kind that says, I'm present. I'm listening. I see you. And that right there is what a high-value man does. He doesn't just talk, he connects. Why this matters more than you think. Women live in a world full of noise, men talking, boasting, interrupting, trying too hard to impress. But when she meets a man who actually remembers her words, who listens not to reply but to understand, her guard drops. That's when attraction becomes something deeper. Don't underestimate this. When she remembers the little things, it's not trivia. It's investment. It's her heart whispering, you matter more than you think. And if you're a man who wants to attract women who are genuinely interested, pay attention to this dynamic. Because attention is the bridge between curiosity and connection. When she remembers, don't just nod and move on. Lean into that moment. Appreciate it. Let her see that her effort isn't invisible. Be the man who says with his presence, I see you too. What she's really doing. Every time she recalls a detail about you, she's building a quiet emotional map. Each piece of memory, a laugh you shared, a quote you dropped, a story about your past, becomes a breadcrumb that leads her closer to trust. That's why it matters. It's not about remembering facts. It's about emotional connection. Her mind is signaling, this man makes me feel something. And once she feels, she starts to imagine you in her life. That's when attraction shifts from curiosity to attachment. So, don't be the man who overlooks it. Don't treat her memory like background noise. It's her heart's language. And if you don't speak it, someone else will. Be the man who notices. When she says, you probably don't remember, but stop right there. Look her in the eyes. Listen, because she's handing you proof of her interest, wrapped in subtlety. Your job is simple. Notice. Respond. Match her energy. That's how you show her you're not just chasing outcomes, you're connecting. That's how you separate yourself from the crowd of men who talk endlessly but listen rarely. Because here's the truth. A woman who remembers your details isn't just curious, she's emotionally engaged. And a man who responds with awareness isn't just attractive, he's unforgettable. Final word. In a world where everyone's distracted, being remembered is rare. When a woman remembers you, she's already chosen to care. So don't downplay it. Don't dismiss it. Be grateful. Because that small act, the way she recalls your words, your habits, your tone, is one of the clearest signs she's drawn to your masculine energy. Be the man who listens back. Be the man who values presence over performance. That's the mark of a high-value man. And that's how you truly attract women, not by trying to impress them, but by showing them that you notice what they notice too. That awareness? That's power. That's connection. That's real attraction. 3. Eyes. When a woman looks at you, her eyes speak the truth her lips can't. The eyes are ancient messengers, windows to the soul. As Shakespeare once wrote, the eyes are the windows to your soul. And in those windows, you'll see the truth she's trying to hide. When she's drawn to you, her gaze exposes everything: desire, curiosity, nervous wonder, and challenge, all hidden beneath calm composure. That quick flicker of attention, that second look after you've turned away, that lingering moment when her eyes meet yours and neither of you says a word, those are not accidents. That is attraction revealing itself in silence. That is her heart speaking in a language older than words. Don't miss it. Don't dismiss it. You must see beyond the surface, because the eyes never lie. A woman's eyes are her emotions unfiltered. She might smile politely, she might act distant, but her gaze betrays her interest before she even realizes it. When you walk into a room and her eyes light up for even a breath of a second, it means you've made an impact. When she looks twice, that's her subconscious stepping forward. Women don't waste their gaze on men they don't feel something for. Every repeated glance is an invitation. Every flicker of contact is a spark waiting for oxygen. Remember what Marcus Aurelius taught in the Old Stoic wisdom: the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When her eyes keep finding you, it's because you've colored her thoughts. That's not coincidence, that's chemistry. But here's the nuance, the part most men miss. Some women won't hold your gaze because they're overwhelmed by it. They look away, not out of disinterest, but because your presence stirs something they can't control. That tension? That's where the spark lives. That's why Stoicism wins. It teaches you control. It reminds you that power lies not in reaction, but in restraint. Hold her gaze just a moment longer than comfort allows. Not as a challenge, but as calm dominance. You must project steadiness, not need. Your eyes should say, "I see you, and I'm not afraid of this connection." That quiet confidence disarms her because it speaks to something primal, safety mixed with strength. In the modern world of distractions and digital noise, where everyone hides behind screens and masks, authentic eye contact has become rare. That's why it's powerful. Don't underestimate it. In a world where people scroll instead of see, a man who truly looks, who's grounded in presence, becomes magnetic. That's the essence of the iron mind, composure under emotional fire. Women feel it instantly. It's not about staring. It's about being unshakable. Be still, be certain, be real. When your energy is calm but charged, she feels it. The eyes transmit it. And the more stoic your presence, the louder your silence becomes. Remember this: her eyes are testing your energy, not your words. She's reading whether you're grounded or desperate, whether you lead or follow. When you maintain your gaze with poise, you're saying, "I am the storm and the calm that follows." That's old Stoic wisdom in motion, power wrapped in grace. The weak man fumbles, looks away, laughs nervously. The strong man, he breathes, he holds, he waits. He knows the silence is his ally. That is mastery. That is control. That is where attraction deepens. Let her eyes speak and listen without interrupting. When she looks again, it means she's giving you permission to engage. Don't rush it. Don't force it. Let the energy build. When you look into her eyes with patience and purpose, you're telling her that you are not chasing validation, you are offering presence. That's what draws her in. That's what creates the connection most men never understand. The eyes may not speak, but they tell everything. So remember, Her gaze is a signal, her glance is an opening, her look is a test. Be the man who reads it with clarity, not confusion. The man who wins without words. The man whose iron mind doesn't waver when chemistry ignites. Be that man, and you'll command the kind of attraction that no charm, no line, no trick can ever replace. Because in the end, real connection isn't spoken, it's seen. If you found this insight valuable, give this video a like, share it with someone who needs to understand subtle attraction cues, and subscribe for more psychology-based wisdom. Comment to remember, I attract deep, genuine connection. 4. Touch. Touch is the quiet bridge between imagination and reality, the instant when the unsaid becomes felt, and if you want to read it well, treat it like a living script of female psychology rather than a guessing game, because in female psychology, distance means caution and proximity means interest. A woman who isn't attracted keeps her perimeter clean, bag between you, torso angled out, steps that don't drift closer, while a woman who is intrigued lets the invisible boundary soften. It rarely starts with fireworks. It begins with small signals you can miss if you're distracted, like a light brush of her arm when she laughs, a playful bump in the doorway, fingers that accidentally graze your sleeve as she hands you the menu. Or the classic color straightening and lint pick that didn't need picking, and each of these is a quiet experiment, a calibration probe, a test of how you receive her energy mixing with yours, because women use touch like language. A quick high five that lingers says, I'm comfortable here. A gentle pat on your shoulder says, I want connection. A joking shove after a teasing line says, we have our own inside channel. A palm-to-palm comparison, wow, your hands are bigger than mine, isn't curiosity. That is invitation disguised as innocence, and timing is everything. So don't watch for touches during dull moments. Watch for touch at the spike, shared laughter, a tiny win, a reveal of a personal story, a playful challenge, because that's when her guard is lowest and her interest is highest. In modern life, this shows up in crowded bars when she stands just close enough that you feel the warmth, in coffee lines when her shoulder stays near yours instead of resetting to neutral. And even after the moment passes, she may text a callback. Did you ever find that imaginary lint? Because digital winks keep the physical thread alive. Don't overthink it and don't chase it, because chasing breaks the spell and cheap psychology tricks won't save you. So forget the gimmicks and be present. Be calm, be grounded. You must read the context and mirror her pace, not outrun it. If she brushes your forearm, don't announce it, don't freeze, and don't escalate. Acknowledge with relaxed composure, a half smile. Steady eye contact, open posture, and keep the conversation flowing, because presence is more seductive than performance. And here's the core. In female psychology, safety amplifies attraction, so your steadiness is the message, your restraint is the green light, your patience is the proof. And if you want the real psychology tricks, understand that they're not tricks at all, but disciplined awareness. Notice patterns, not one-offs. Notice repetition, not single sparks. Notice whether she initiates again after you hold the moment with ease. If she initiates small contact again and again, she's saying, come closer, and your job is to earn the next step, not grab it. Be the man who lets tension breathe, because touch is the dance between tension and permission, and the leader doesn't yank the rhythm. He honors it. Don't touch first without a clear invitation. Don't ignore her signals as if they're nothing. Don't turn a natural moment into an awkward press conference by calling it out, and don't hide behind canned lines you found in a list of psychology tricks, because the only reliable roadmap is attention plus respect. This is practical, not mystical. Shoulders down, breathe low, keep your voice smooth, angle your body slightly in, not crowding, just available. Hold eye contact a beat longer than comfort, but shorter than a stare down. And when in doubt, slow down, because slowing down raises the voltage without tripping the breaker. In a world of swipes and scrolls, genuine touch is rare, so guard it, honor it, let it mean something. And if you're learning how to fall in love as a grown man, start by mastering the micro moments. This is how to fall in love without games. This is how to fall in love with dignity and tact. This is how to fall in love by earning trust inch by inch. Be decisive in your boundaries too, because consent is not a trend, it's the frame. If she leans out, reset to neutral immediately if she stiffens. Give space at once if you misread. Own it with grace, and if the energy is mutual, keep it light and let it build. That is mature masculine leadership. That is the attractive alternative to pressure. That is the difference between chemistry that fizzles and connection that deepens. Modern life rewards speed, but attraction rewards timing. So wait for the green lights, read the room, respect her pace, and let your steadiness do the talking, because the right touch, brief, natural, well timed, communicates more than hours of conversation and tells her the truth. You're comfortable here, you're listening, you're not rushing the story. In short, don't chase the touch, earn it, and remember that the most powerful psychology tricks are simply fluent respect and focused attention applied to real human moments, aligned with female psychology and guided by her best self, the self that knows the difference between force and invitation, between noise and signal, between a crowded world and a clear intention. 5. Nervousness. Nervousness is one of the most misunderstood emotions between men and women. Most men see it and think she's disinterested, uncomfortable, or distracted. Wrong. Nervousness, my friend, is one of the purest and most revealing signs of attraction. When a woman doesn't care, she's smooth, steady voice, casual posture, easy smiles. She's effortless because she has nothing to lose. But when she does care, when something in her stirs the moment you walk in, calm turns into chaos. That's when you'll notice the subtle tells, her fingers twirling a strand of hair, her nails tracing the rim of her glass, her voice trembling ever so slightly as she tries to sound composed. Don't mistake it for weakness. That's her heart trying to stay cool while her pulse betrays her. It's her body reacting to the magnetic pull of connection. See, when attraction hits, a woman's confidence temporarily battles her vulnerability. She wants to impress you, to show her best self, but she's also terrified of saying the wrong thing. Her composure cracks because she suddenly cares what you think. And that emotional investment doesn't come from boredom, it comes from desire. That's the unspoken truth most men miss. They misread nervousness as discomfort when, in reality, it's the emotional version of fireworks, chaotic, beautiful, and impossible to fake. You must learn to see beyond the surface. Pay attention to the flicker in her eyes when she meets your gaze. Watch the quick smile that escapes before she hides it. Notice how she tucks her hair behind her ear or laughs too soon at your joke. These are not random habits. They're tiny sparks of attraction trying to stay contained. As Hemingway once said, the eyes of others are prisons. Their thoughts are cages. That's exactly what happens when she likes you. Her awareness of being seen makes her flustered because your opinion suddenly matters more than she expected. The key, gentlemen, is how you respond. The wrong move? Pointing it out. Don't tease her for being nervous. Don't make her self-conscious. That kills the moment. The right move is calm confidence. Stay grounded. Keep your voice steady, your posture open. Let your masculine energy do the talking. When she senses that her nervousness doesn't intimidate you, that you're steady enough to handle her emotional flutter, something powerful happens. Her anxiety transforms into trust. The tension becomes connection. She starts to feel safe in your presence, and that safety is what deepens attraction. That's the secret of a high-value man. He doesn't chase validation, he provides it through stability. He knows that attraction isn't built through clever words, but through presence, the calm, assured presence that says, you can relax here. You must embody that balance of strength and softness, the kind that makes her feel both intrigued and secure. That is masculine energy in motion, firm, centered, and quietly magnetic. Remember this. Women don't get nervous around men they don't value. They only lose composure when the stakes feel high. So if she's blushing, fidgeting, or stumbling over her words, understand what's really happening. Her emotions are running ahead of her control. Don't exploit it. Don't mock it. Respect it. Because that nervous energy is proof that she's not just playing a game, she's feeling something real. So the next time you see that telltale sign, a trembling laugh, a glance that dodges too quickly, fingers fussing with a bracelet. Don't rush, don't analyze, just be still. Let her find her rhythm again in your presence. That's how a man attracts women, not through charm, but through composure. That's how he turns nerves into warmth and tension into trust. A high-value man knows that the ability to stay calm in moments of emotional chaos isn't just confidence, it's leadership. Nervousness, at its core, is attraction wrapped in vulnerability. It's her heart whispering, I want this to go well. So when you see it, appreciate it. Because it's not weakness, it's courage trying not to show its face. And if you can meet that courage with grace, patience, and strength, you're not just a man who understands women, you're a man who knows how to make them feel safe enough to fall. When you finally recognize that her nervousness isn't fear, it's attraction trying to hide, you stop guessing and start seeing the truth. Comment below with power. I now see the signs clearly. 6. Engagement. Energy never lies. It speaks before words do. It reveals truth before the mind catches it. When a woman is genuinely interested, you'll feel it. Her attention sharpens, her laughter flows with life. Her curiosity wakes up like fire catching wind. That's not coincidence. That's emotional energy choosing you. In her engagement, you find the clearest signal of attraction. When she leans in, when her eyes light up, when her voice carries warmth, understand, this is not small talk. This is investment. This is her way of saying, you matter here. When she's indifferent, her responses are polite, controlled, predictable. But when desire flickers beneath the surface, everything changes. The rhythm shifts. The pauses grow longer, her smile lingers, her body language opens. She asks follow-up questions, keeps the conversation alive when logic says it should have ended. That's engagement, the bridge between curiosity and connection. Old Stoic wisdom reminds us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Don't imagine her interest, observe it. Watch her energy, not her words. In this modern world, attention is the rarest currency. Engagement, real, consistent engagement, is the proof of focus. She doesn't just reply, she responds with emotion. She laughs at your humor, references your ideas, mirrors your tone. Online, she watches your stories, reacts to your posts, sends memes or songs that echo your world. These are not random digital ripples. These are signs of investment in the age of distraction. In her small actions lies a big truth. She's thinking about you. The man with an iron mind, a stoicism win in the battlefield of emotion, knows the difference between attention and affection. He doesn't chase validation. He observes patterns. He studies energy. Consistency reveals everything. Anyone can reply once or twice. Only genuine interest sustains. When she keeps returning, when she finds reasons to reconnect, when her messages carry warmth instead of formality, that's engagement, not coincidence. Don't misread friendliness as attraction. Friendliness fades. Engagement endures. Friendliness is politeness. Engagement is choice. When she shares pieces of her story, her dreams, her fears, her laughter, she's opening the gate to her emotional world. She's inviting you beyond her surface. The wise man doesn't exploit that. He honors it. He listens more than he speaks. He gives her space to express, not pressure to perform. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So dye your thoughts with strength, calm, awareness. Don't let neediness cloud your clarity. Men of mastery understand, energy is power. And the power of engagement is mutual. When she invests energy, respond, not with desperation, but with dignity. Notice her effort. Acknowledge it. Appreciate it, but never depend on it. That's what keeps attraction alive, the balance between appreciation and independence. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that control of self is the highest form of victory. That's what separates the man who wins from the man who wonders. That's what it means to have an iron mind, to stand still in the storm of emotion and read truth through behavior, not fantasy. Don't beg for attention. Earn it through presence. Don't question your worth. Prove it through calmness. Don't chase. Attract. Because energy, when unforced, becomes magnetic. Women feel it. They sense when a man is grounded, focused, unshaken. That's why Stoicism wins, not by suppressing emotion, but by mastering it. Remember, engagement is not about words, it's about energy. And energy, when exchanged honestly, becomes the purest form of desire. A woman invests where she feels understood. She stays where her spirit feels seen. So read her engagement like a compass. It points not north or south, but straight toward connection. You must develop perception. You must learn to see without needing proof. You must act without fear of loss. That's the essence of Old Stoic wisdom, knowing that nothing external can control your peace unless you allow it. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. So master your attention. Master your response. Don't let desire enslave you. Let awareness guide you. Let's be clear, engagement is energy, and energy is truth. A woman's focus is not random, it's directional. When she keeps showing up, she's sending a signal. Don't overlook it. Don't overthink it. Recognize it. Respect it. Respond with confidence. Because that's what powerful men do. That's what men with iron minds live by. That's Stoicism in motion, calm, composed, commanding. That's how you win, quietly, consistently, completely. 7. Care. Care isn't loud. It doesn't come wrapped in fireworks or whispered flirtations. It sneaks in quietly, like a soft light through a window, steady, warm, undeniable. That's the thing about attraction through female psychology. When a woman starts to care, she's not playing games. She's showing you something real. You must understand this. Care is not random courtesy. It's emotional investment in disguise. Don't mistake her, "Did you eat?" or "Text me when you get home" for mere politeness. That's not small talk. That's instinct. That's affection working undercover. In the subtle world of psychology tricks, her care is the biggest giveaway, and yet, it's the one most men never see. When she remembers that stressful meeting you mentioned last week or follows up on the headache you brushed off, that's not coincidence. That's her mind circling back to you, again and again, even when you're not there. That's female psychology in action, quiet, intentional, and far deeper than words. A woman who cares invests time, energy, and emotional space into your well-being. That's the real currency of connection. You don't buy it, you earn it. And don't you dare confuse it with being nice. Nice is social. Care is personal. Nice is surface. Care cuts to the core. Most men miss it because they're too busy scanning for the obvious signs, the flirtatious laugh, the teasing glance, the playful touch. But here's the hard truth. Attraction doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it hums. It's in the way she listens when you talk about your day. It's in that tiny pause before she answers, showing she actually heard you. It's in the way she remembers your favorite coffee or sends a meme just to make you smile. When a woman does these things, she's not just being sweet, she's signaling attachment. That is how she begins to fall in love. Listen, you must learn to recognize that care for what it is, an emotional bridge she's quietly building toward you. Female psychology tells us that care requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is the deepest form of trust. She wouldn't offer it if she didn't feel something genuine. Every check-in, every little act of concern is a test of safety, her way of asking, "Can I trust you with my softness?" Don't ignore it. Don't joke it away. And for heaven's sake, don't act like you're too tough to notice. Be grounded enough to see it. Be mature enough to value it. Be wise enough to respond with quiet strength, not swagger. Because here's the golden truth about attraction. Once care enters the picture, the game changes. You're not just a crush, you're an emotional priority. That's why her care feels so pure. It's uncalculated. Women don't pour energy into men they don't see a future with. Care takes effort, and effort is the clearest evidence of desire. Forget the flashy psychology tricks that try to manipulate affection. This is the real thing, the language of the heart spoken through action, not intention. So, when she starts caring, truly caring, don't mock it or take it for granted. Recognize it. Appreciate it. Respond with steadiness. A simple "thank you" can carry more weight than 1,000 compliments. That's how to fall in love the right way, through respect, awareness, and gratitude. When you can receive her care with calm confidence, you show her something rare, that you're a man worthy of emotional investment. And that's what separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. Care is sacred ground in the dance of connection. It's the quiet rhythm that holds everything together. So, don't look for sparks while ignoring the steady flame right in front of you. The next time she remembers something small, checks in unprompted, or worries just a little too much, stop and realize what's happening. You're being seen. You're being valued. And if you're smart enough to see it for what it is, you'll understand this simple truth. In the intricate map of female psychology, care is love's first language, the most honest signal that she's already halfway in. And that's the hidden code. Remember, attraction isn't always fireworks. Sometimes it's quiet signals waiting to be noticed. If you start to recognize these cues, her presence, her eyes, the way she remembers small things, don't overthink it. Don't rush. Just respond with calm confidence. That's how genuine connection grows. My honest advice? Don't try to decode every little thing like a puzzle. Instead, be present. Pay attention. Respect her comfort. When you approach with awareness and sincerity, you won't need tricks. You'll stand out naturally. Thanks for watching, my friend. If this helped you see things more clearly, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay confident.